Good morning. Rise in freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. It's Freedom Family Friday, baby. Yeah. It's Friday. But we make Fridays extra special around here on the Wake Up America show. It's not just a P. There's a lot of P's. A lot of peeing going on in the studio today with baby Hazel in studio with her beautiful, smoking hot, redheaded libertarian mommy. Oh, mommy. Aye, Steffi P.
Hello. I've been looking forward to this weekend so much.
So hot. Want to touch the hiney. Oh, that Steffi P is one piece of ace. I know from experience, dude.
Thank you. Yes. I feel like a MILF very much. I think you're a DILF and I'm a MILF.
DILF just doesn't have the same power.
They never talk about DILFs. Why do they just talk about
I don't know, because DILF, like dill pickle, I have no idea. It just doesn't work. DILF.
Women just don't want to give men credit.
Sounds like doof.
You know, women just always want the spotlight. They always want to be the hottest. They never want to admit that the men are hot too.
Or those movies that I never rented in the 1980s, Dorf. Has anybody ever heard of Dorf?
I don't think so.
Dorf Plays Golf. There was this whole series of stupid movies you'd see for $1.99 on the shelf. It was Dorf Plays Golf or something like that.
That's cute.
It's kind of it was like an American Mr. Bean, if I remember. I don't know.
I like Mr. Bean.
Hey, today's a special day. Why is it special? It's a month-iversary for a little baby.
So it's 1 month. Our friend Doug Ashby, he made us these nice wooden coasters that say all the months.
Yes. So
we have them up until 12 months.
Yeah, we got to take a picture of baby Hazel today with the 1 month card there that our buddy.
And I have her little milestone dry erase board where I write all of her size and all her likes and favorites and everything. So we'll show that to you guys later.
Mm-hmm. Little baby Hazel's getting kind of big, isn't she? She's 9
pounds, 4.6 ounces as of yesterday. She had her appointment at the pediatrician. She got the belly now, and she's got the double chin, and her cheeks are poking out, and it's just like, oh yeah, but she's average weight. So the doctor said just keep her on this trajectory here and she'll do just fine. She's already out of her newborn diapers. Mm-hmm. She's at number 1 already. So she's getting big and she's tall, actually. She's above the curve for height.
Mm-hmm.
She's 22 inches.
Yeah, we actually have a Dorf fan in the chat.
Oh, really?
Caleb Vanderfelt apparently was a Dorf fan.
Oh,
he's trying me as a Dorf fan. Shut up, Austin.
We need to watch Dorf this weekend. No? Okay.
You go my whole life. I went the first 43 years of my life without watching Dorf plays golf. And I'm certainly not going to start now. Just kidding around, guys. We're obviously going to be talking about the news a little bit today between all of the sessions of goofing off. Today's the day where we take the news and we put it in between all the goofing off for the podcast. Yes,
that's
right?
Good.
Nice to see all of our friends hanging out with us live this morning. Click the like button if you haven't already. Come on, do it. And if today's your first time watching the Wake Up America show and you end up following the channel because of this show, just wait. We're a little weird today, so just be understanding that Monday through Thursday, it's kind of like a different show. It's a variety show to some extent. We have regular guests, but the Wake Up America show is really a fun way to start your day. And we fight for freedom and we love America, but we're also going to have a good time. We're so blessed to live in a country where Stephanie and I can live on 5.5 acres and walk around with my beautiful little redheaded daughter, Pink Cheek, with our 2 French bulldogs running around. And we love America and this country, and we certainly have an interest in its future now, don't we, Stephanie?
That's right. We might be having a problem with our freedom soon, though. I'm actually going to be calling the road commission people today because they're going to be closing off the road right next to where we live. And they say no traffic is allowed in there. And we're like, are we going to be trapped on our private road? Because we live on a private road that we actually pay for and maintain.
Nah, homie G. And soon it's going to be like, we could complain to our local authorities, but then it's like if they blocked us in or whatever, like if this had happened next year, then we would just be called Bob Onder, call our congressman like Dr. Bob.
Exactly.
Get him. You know what I'm saying? Right? Use your power arbitrarily.
I'm kind of excited. We could actually go off-roading. If they really close the road, we could take your truck and start driving on the grass, through the cow pastures.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We've got bonus baby content for you today. We've got a little bonus.
Only if you raise how much money?
So if they raise $60, they unlock the bonus content. story for today.
Bonus content.
Bonus content, then there's the bonus baby. So
and bonus baby's $100.
Yes. So if they raise $100, then at the end of the show, baby Hazel, we bring her out. We show you. I can't wait to show you these cheeks, man. They are so pink and so big and juicy and round.
She's looking different. Definitely.
Yes. Well, like some people eat pork cheek, and they say that humans are long. They call it long pork.
Oh.
So I bet you if you were to take little Hazel's, her little chunky jowls at this point now, you'd probably have a good amount of meat. Put it in the pan, just kind of slice off those jowls, and put them in there and fry them up. You know what I'm saying? And just like, little jowl of the long pig child.
Aww.
You ever seen Lord of the Flies?
Really sad video the other day of this pig that had been roasted on a truck, and the truck was driving, and it just showed the pig's butt like bouncing up and down. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So sad.
Stephanie, speaking of pigs and butts, Kamala Harris gave her speech at the Democratic National Convention.
Does she have a nice butt? I mean, she is black, right? She's got a nice black booty.
Stephanie,
yeah.
Stop it! Stop it!
I like big butts, and I cannot laugh.
Well, yes.
No.
She's half Indian. So, Stephanie, will you do me a favor? You grab my delicious coffee over there, sitting on the corner.
Your Founding Flavors.
My delicious Founding Flavors coffee at forlibertyshop.com.
Can you bless
Yeah, that's where you get that.
Oh gosh. Money wise, please. Can you suck it?
Get yourself a Steffi can get yourself a delicious box of Founding Flavors coffee. Stephanie, how dare you?
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Yeah.
That's what you said when Hazel was conceived.
Listen to this at the end. What the sound that Trump makes here at the end.
Oh.
Did you hear that?
Oh boy.
Did you hear that?
Wow. I have so many images in my head now of Trump.
It's the best mashup. I saw a DJ had remixed that into like a set where it was like Kamala Harris saying that over and over again, and then Trump Trump was the beat drop, but it was like,
do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Do no. Do 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 do. Here's the end. Here it comes. Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Good stuff.
He knew what he was doing, says Floby Tenderson. Good morning, Floby. How's everybody doing today? Are you sad that we haven't started the news yet? We have a billion clips. We've got Justin.
We do.
We've got Justin on the show.
He's back.
He wasn't here last week.
Nope. Under the weather, but he's feeling good.
Yeah, Justin's back. He's feeling better. We love him, and we can't wait to talk to him at 8 o'clock. We're going to have him react. You didn't know this story until I told you, last night, did I?
No, I've been busy being a mother.
I know. Hey, listen, Daddy has stepped in myriad ways. So
you have. Oh, my gosh. Yes, you have. Absolutely.
FYI. Let's not get it.
Yeah, our teamwork is really amazing. Solid. I mean, while I'm making dinner, you're helping to keep Hazel happy. You help to feed her while I clean up from dinner. So it's like we're really tag teaming.
And who'll be changing diapers and wiping butts?
Changing diapers. You're doing all the things. So I mean, we definitely need to give you credit. That's the thing. I was talking to you yesterday. Whenever you post online and you're like, I made this, and you have a picture of Hazel, all these women come out and they're so angry, even men too.
Oh yeah, they were telling me how it really is.
Yeah, they're just like, actually, your wife did most of the work.
You provided half
credit.
the blueprint. Oh.
Right, and it's just like, you know what? It's okay. Give him some credit here. This is his baby. He provides for her. He takes care of her. It's okay. I'm not offended by him helping to make her.
Yes. Let's pull it up right here. So I've got the picture up on the screen. You can see it right here. This is like a picture, so it's not quite bonus baby.
Right. Like, imagine if I had posted a photo of Hazel and I wrote, I made this. Right. Do you know what the comments would say? They'd be like, yes, queen.
Yes,
girl
queen.
boss. You don't need no man. All this stuff. And it's like, why is it okay for me to say it, but not for him?
Right, exactly. So, Hazel's cute. She's beautiful. She's a month old today, and we're all very happy about it. Yes. Okay, so what are we talking about? Ooh, I got to stop hitting that black button. What are we talking about with Justin today? What do we have on the record?
The vasectomies and the abortions. That's what I hadn't heard about.
Yeah, so...
Oh, God!
What was your reaction when you heard that there was a vasectomy and abortion truck at the DNC?
I said, is that even possible? Because at the time, I didn't know that you could have a vasectomy without getting general anesthesia.
Mm-hmm.
I know I started looking it up after the fact, but apparently you can get one without general anesthesia unless your case is complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're definitely like conked out. But it's just local. So they just like give you some numbing stuff and they go snip, snip.
But also think about like the abortion thing. Like the Democrats, one of their big talking points is like, women get it back if they don't. And it's like, now you're getting in a van by the Democratic convention, you know? Like, it's like, what
is it like an ice cream truck? You know, do they give you like ice cream after you're done?
Like a cookie, like when you donate blood? I have no idea. But that's hilarious.
You get a sticker. They need to have stickers that say, I got an abortion.
Here's a funny thing about this. I mean, I know that this is maybe looking at this too deep, but like, think about the symbolic act of getting a vasectomy at the convention, being a man and getting a vasectomy at the Democratic National Convention. Like, think about what you're saying. You're not saying what you think you're saying, right? In many ways, what you're saying is like you're cucking yourself to some extent. First of all, you're committing human sacrifice in the tent next door in the literally child sacrifice.
Biblical, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, like killing, there's a lot of
anti-Bible actually.
There's a lot of dead babies in the Bible.
Yes.
Babies dashed. Speaking of Lord of the Flies, like the Bible's like one long tale of babies' heads being dashed on rocks. Except for the New Testament, I think a few babies do get their heads bashed. But you're Jew, so it doesn't count. The problem with the whole narrative today is that the Democrats don't understand how they come off. It happens the same with Republicans, but like on one hand, like they want men to vote for them. On the other hand, they're strong, independent women who don't need no man, and then go get a vasectomy in the truck from the creepy Dr. Giggles. He's like, did you ever watch Little Shop of Horrors? The dentist, right? You'll be a dentist, and he's doing the drugs, and he's like, you have a talent for causing things pain, son. He was a sadist. It's probably
a female doctor in that van. She's like, I want to make sure every man can't reproduce.
Kill every baby and snip every testes.
Women pregnant.
Yes, that's the worst. See, look what happens. You have these beautiful little children.
Yeah.
They're like, she's like the witch from Hansel and Gretel who wants to like pop the children in the oven and eat them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I would never make you get a vasectomy. I know a lot of men voluntarily get them.
Now, why would you not make me get a vasectomy? Even if because it's so much more convenient than tying your tubes or something like that. So why would you not make me get a vasectomy? Why would you not urge that upon me, Stephanie?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't respect us women as much as men, but because I'm willingly taking a birth control pill, right? It's like I'm doing that to my body and I could get increased cancer risk from it and all sorts of side effects.
You're taking all the risk.
But I don't know. I just feel like a vasectomy is final. It can't be turned back, can it?
It can be turned back.
Oh, it can be reversed.
As a matter of fact, a famous joke in The Office with Michael Scott is that he's making the joke that Janice made him, his girlfriend, made him get a vasectomy.
Okay.
And then they changed their mind, so he reversed it. And then he got it again, and then he reversed it again. In theory, you could do it that many times. Probably wouldn't want it, but there's a symbolic. A man's testes is his power, right? His manhood, his masculinity.
That's the second reason is just, I want you to continue to feel manly because if you don't, it'll really affect
your psychology.
Mood,
absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I would think that like women would want men who are strong men with strong balls.
Right.
Yes.
You get a vasectomy.
You love my balls.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know all the science behind it if you still produce sperm and I don't know how it all works when you get a vasectomy. So I'd have to look into how things operate down there.
Imagine being Mongoose87. He just got into the chat this morning and hearing me say, you love my balls. It's the first thing that you hear.
Absolutely. So yeah, I personally would never make you get it because I don't know. I just I value your manhood too much.
God bless Stephanie Peterson.
Yes.
Did I pick a good one or what, guys? Welcome to the Wake Up America show. Click the like button, and we'd love to have you join us Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a 2-hour show. Fridays are Freaky Fridays, where we bring in my family and we goof around. We spend 21 minutes just like talking about vasectomies and all that stuff. But hey, the Democrats started it. I just can't wait to hear what Justin has to say about it. Like, he probably has something deeper, or he probably has a good joke or two. So we'll hear from Justin this morning.
Yeah, he never has to get a vasectomy. I mean, the risk of him getting someone pregnant, it's zero.
Yeah, no danger of that.
No. Unless it's a trans man.
Yes.
Then there might be a risk there.
I don't think my brother's into that. But you know what, my brother's like you. He likes masculine men.
Yes.
LW78 dropped $30 in the tip jar.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
He wants to see the bonus baby, I guess. I don't know what this freedom is the Democrats are talking about, but all I care about is real freedom and liberty. Also, the abortion and vasectomy vans are just one step away from the suicide booths of Futurama. Really good.
Oh, soon there'll be suicide vans, I'm sure. Dr. Kevorkian did actually. He had he had
a mobile suicide van.
Yeah, so I guess he already did it.
Well, and I was just explaining to you this morning how China has the organ harvesting vans.
Correct.
Which is like freaky as hell.
Why is it always done in a van? Why not choose some other type of vehicle?
Because if there's some procedure you really want to do, like it's like dog hair trimming vans. Have you seen the ones that like exercise your dogs where you like
the treadmill?
On the treadmill.
You put in the van.
That comes around. Yeah. Modern convenience. You can get your dog's hair trimmed while you get your organs harvested. Yeah.
Wow. One-stop shop. There you go.
I hear food truck food is really good in Washington, D.C. One day we'll be like Soylent Green, which is people. And then we'll just, on one van, they'll harvest your organs. And then in the other van, you'll pick up your gourmet
liver,
Soylent Green.
And onions.
Yeah. Because Soylent Green is what?
Is people.
That's right, Stephanie. It's people.
I'm relevant.
See, Stephanie, it's from the 1970s, but yes. I've had to like show Stephanie so many like movies and like pop culture things that she had no idea, because she lived in like a Taylor Swifty kind of style world, like with her mom in a closet, and she
very much about modern culture.
And she only had one boyfriend ever before me and all this, so it was like she was very sheltered. She was into like pop culture, and like they would watch documentaries in The Bachelor. But when I had first met Stephanie, I had said Soylent Green is people, she'd be like, "What?" Like,
I'd be like, is that a new protein shake? Should I try it?
Yes, it is actually a protein shake, Stephanie. Yes. So whatever makes you happy in life. The chat's lively this morning. It's great to see everybody. We'd love to have you be regular guests of the show. Please do watch us 5 days a week and hang out with us and be friends. We are so lonely, Stephanie and I. Just kidding. The phone lines are open at 573-319-1586 to say, text us if you'd like. One listener did text in and says, how about we never say snip, snip, snip again?
Oopsie.
No, he's just kidding. Just teasing.
Yeah.
Snip, snap, snip, snap. Step back and forth, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Yeah, it definitely gives me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you can text the show and let us know what's on your mind at 573-319-1586. See that text line down at the bottom of the screen? When you see it go to black, it's because my stupid fat finger hits the wrong button. That's me. I'm controlling the cameras back and forth over here, and they're on like different settings today, so I have to like get it right. Sorry if it goes to black. It's my fault, my stupid fault. Wake up, America. It's 573-319-1586. The text line, text it and then keep it. So just save it in your phone and you don't have to worry about the next day. I want to text Austin again because I'm having fun. We're all hanging out, being chill. You're like, show me the baby Hazel. And we will do so when we have raised $100, but we have only raised $30 so far.
$70 more. But if you want to just see the bonus video, then $30 more.
Yes, we're halfway towards the bonus content this morning. Thank you for reminding us, Stephanie. We're appreciating that.
Oh, and you can buy stuff from the shop.
What is forlibertyshop.com all about?
It is Liberty merchandise. We have t-shirts, we have cell phone cases, we have Founding Flavors coffee that Austin is drinking. We have custom metal signs that scream freedom, and we have hats and bags, and pretty much we have stickers and car magnets. We have everything you can possibly imagine that screams freedom. Eagles,
And tell us if they buy something at the store during the show, that counts towards the bonus content, correct?
It sure does. We have people do it every single day.
So the Wake Up America show's merch website, is it what website, Steph?
So it's forlibertyshop.com.
The number 4.
And yeah, we've got some awesome Halloween stuff. So if you're starting to prepare for Halloween already, you just made a new ghost shirt yesterday.
Yeah, I thought people might like it. I just thought it was kind of like funny. If
you don't want to actually wear a ghost costume, you can just have your costume on your shirt.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny shirt. I don't know. People might like it. They might not. But, well, the real popular Halloween shirt is?
The government one.
No. That one's popular too. But what's the show the one we sell so much of that I have?
No Lives Matter.
Michael Myers.
Yes.
No Lives Matter.
And you can wear it all the time. You wear it even in the summer.
You can get the No Lives Matter shirt where?
forlibertyshop.com. And if you buy a shirt, then that'll raise basically about 20-something to possibly $30-something towards our bonus content.
There
so
we
you
go.
can get it right
Thanks,
then and
Steffi.
there.
Drew Van Runkle gave us a shirt idea. Says, brainworms for Trump shirts, please.
Brainworms for Trump.
Courtney says, sorry for so little, but have to save to get 2 boy kittens snipped soon. No, thanks.
It's talking about snipping, huh?
Hey, it's never too little, Courtney. We appreciate everything that you do to help us out, and the fact that you're here hanging out with us is a lot. And
Absolutely.
so we're very grateful. So it's never too little. I mean, if somebody dropped 50 cents, I used to sing and play guitar in the subway in Times Square in New York City when I first moved there, 20 some odd years ago. I would actually run into people I knew from high school that would come through New York sometimes and stuff. Yeah. Because Times Square is like
for you.
Yeah. As a busker, they call it, right? And I would sing and I would play guitar. And
them panhandlers. You're not a panhandler.
I call them buskers. No, because a panhandler is somebody who just puts out the pan and hands it. I was playing guitar and singing. I was providing a service to the good people of Times Square, and some people may have not liked it so much. Street performers, Stephanie. There you go.
Yeah. The people that dress up and look like statues and then they freak you out when they move.
Yes. And I do have some crazy stories from those days because I had like homeless people who would chase me around.
Oh my
And like try and hurt me and things.
Why?
Yeah,
they wanted your money?
No, some people did try and steal my money. But no, they just didn't want me on their platform, or they were competing buskers who were like, I've been here for 50 years. And it's like, okay, old man, like, whatever you want.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't care. Drew Van Runkle says, wait, you were a busker? I was a busker. Yes. So
you've been pretty much everything.
I've done almost everything. We were talking about that last night.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, if I die, because we were talking about dying if we get eaten by a shark.
Yes.
And I was like, if I get eaten by a shark when I'm scuba diving, like, yeah, it would suck, but also like everybody would be like, that's so cool. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I was like, imagine if Hazel said, my dad died from being killed by a shark.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but the thing is, we all got to die, and like, not everybody gets kind of a cool death.
Yeah.
If you will. Like, I don't want to be eaten by a shark. I would hate every second of it.
I feel like you'd get a lot of haters, though. They'd be like, he's so stupid for even putting himself in harm's way. I feel like that's what a lot of people say.
Yeah. Like,
people get eaten by sharks.
Right. It's kind of like when you see people like climb Mount Everest and they die on the way up Mount Everest. It's kind of like, caveat emptor for sure. But I mean, here's the thing. Like, what's that quote from Braveheart? Like, everyone who lives will die, but not everyone who dies has lived.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's right. And
now show us your tats.
and life is not worth living.
That's right. Now show us your tats. That's if Hazel had a Scottish accent and she was hungry for some booby milk. She like, Mama, show us your tats. So I'll say your tats.
The booby. Yeah, I say to her, do you want the boob? You want the boob? That'll probably be her very first word, boob.
John and KC says, tell us the male escorting stories, AP. That's not. That's not. I never sold my body.
Really cute male escort.
Just a gigolo.
I could see the older cougar women going for you.
The silver fox.
Oh, yeah. You would have been a really good male escort. Wow. Oh, that's cool.
Does your husband know how to please a woman?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
We should really back off of this. And play Kamala Harris, a boner killer.
Does she know how to please a man? Absolutely.
Of the people, I accept your nomination to be President of the United States. My mother was a brilliant, 5-foot-tall, brown woman with an accent. Consider not only the chaos and calamity when he was in office, but also the gravity of what has happened since he lost the last election. President Biden and I are working around the clock because now is the time to get a hostage deal and a ceasefire deal done. After decades in law enforcement, I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border.
She's a cop, right? So she's not a very good cop.
And she's a cop and a prosecutor.
Yeah, prosecutors are considered to be like cops, essentially. Yeah. So
I love how she's like, my mom was a brown woman who was 5 feet tall. And again, she's like pushing that whole brown thing.
Well, it's funny too, because like that's the most important thing to the Democrats, right? Is what color you are versus like her accomplishments as a prosecutor. Getting elected as prosecutor of San Francisco. I mean, despite the fact that she, sort of slept her way to the top through Willie Brown to an extent, like you still have to have the skills to pay the bills in some ways.
I mean, she's a very talented woman. Mm-hmm. She's probably very smart. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'd give her credit there, but should she be our president? No.
Absolutely not. But she could be. She could be very soon. We might be dealing with this reality.
I mean, are new polls out yet showing how she's doing?
It's pretty tight. It's neck and neck, which is why we're so thankful to see the news that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. dropped off the ballot in Arizona. And
it's probably because he knows that Kamala is going to win if he doesn't drop out.
I think that, I mean, that's essentially what his vice presidential candidate has been saying, is that like it's been the Democrats that have been the ones who have not tried to knock them off the ballot, sued them at every turn, silence them, suppress them, use the power of government against him. I mean, Trump was always cordial with Kennedy, and they kind of had a cordial relationship despite their differences on policy areas.
Sure.
There is talk that this could make Robert F. Kennedy Jr. if Trump wins. I know many of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s supporters see him as kind of like an independent third party and are like, oh, well, we don't want him to sell out to one of the two major parties and stuff. But it's like, if you supported Kennedy at all because of some of his ideals, wouldn't you like to see his ideals actually be put into practice?
Right.
I mean, there are things that I agree with him on.
Libertarians online saying if RFK Jr. gets out, they're not voting at all. Which is really pathetic and sad.
Our staffer over in the chat that runs the AP for Liberty Shop Rumble.
Hello, staffer.
Hello, Mr. Staffer. He likes to, keep a modicum of privacy.
Oh, I know.
He says that the polls are actually worse for Kamala with RFK in, but they don't want to take the chance. So that's the concern, is that it's better to have RFK supporters come on board and vote for Trump than take the chance on what the polls are, because the polls could be anything. All right. So sorry it went dark, guys. That's my fat fingers. I'm running the cameras over here, and the settings are a little bit different this morning. They're not exactly what they are every day. So I apologize if you see a quick little black screen. I'll try and fix it. Just scream at me in the chat like you do, like Mighty Megatron did.
You were saying RFK Jr. might get a spot in the cabinet, right? As like
I don't know.
I
mean, there's talk.
You're joking about that.
I saw people saying this morning, RFK for CIA director.
I would be scared. I mean, he's quite a conspiracy theorist. I do not want him in any powerful position at all.
I would not put him in a situation where he has to protect national security secrets, because he's already proven that he cannot protect secrets, because he showed, remember that video that came out of Trump after the assassination calling Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and it got leaked, right? So that's not the guy that you want to be the head of the CIA. I don't care how much he hates it. We need somebody who can reform the CIA. But even Judge Napolitano said on my show Wednesday, and you know how he hates the CIA. He would abolish them in a second.
Sure.
He says he would abolish every part of the CIA. And this was kind of controversial. I didn't get to ask him more about it. He would abolish every part of the CIA that tries to overthrow other regimes, but he would keep the part of the spying that spies on other countries, because they spy on us. Even Israel spies on us, especially Israel spies on us all the time. Other countries that are our friends and allies, quote unquote, they spy on us. So we need a spying apparatus. What we don't need to be doing is trying to overthrow every tin pot dictator in every third world country and, starting wars at every turn. we need to have a less interventionist foreign policy, but you need to have a foreign policy, not just, we're just going to tear it all down. And I think RFK, I think the brainworms, if the brainworms haven't gotten to him, I do think that on a lot of issues, he's been pretty nutty in the past,
Yeah, and his voice is terrible to listen to. I really hope whatever position he's in, he doesn't have to give speeches.
Exactly. The issues that he's really good on, free speech, right? To some level,
free
just because
speech, talking about his voice.
Yeah, I know. Maybe he's not talking, but he's defending it. He is a lawyer. He is a lawyer. So I can't see a position in the cabinet for someone like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. because I really don't know that it's where he needs to be. But if he's doing something in a bureaucratic fashion that's not, it's not anathema to our liberty, then, I wouldn't complain because I feel as if here's the thing. The Donald Trump campaign is, I don't care what you think about Donald Trump. His campaign is about taking down the global regime.
Right.
Donald Trump's campaign is it's a war against the elites who are at war with us common people, and their power is to tax, their power is to war, their power is to destroy, and they hate someone like Trump because he may not be an ideological capitalist like you and I are, or our audience may be, but he is an instinctual capitalist.
Right.
And so in his instincts as a capitalist, he makes good decisions economically.
Yeah, I mean, he walks the walk and talks the talk. He's an entrepreneur through and through.
Right. And so if Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is jumping on board the Donald Trump campaign, like I explained this kind of like yesterday, or maybe I wrote about this in my column this week, all of the different factions of Trump supporters were the island of misfit toys. To some extent. If you ever see Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the island of misfit toys.
I've heard of the island of misfit
toys. And it's that's why I don't fit in is the name of the song. We're all kind of like freaks and geeks because we are all so different, and these coalitions that are coming together to support Trump.
That's the Libertarian Party.
Yeah, well, the Libertarian people very much freaks, right? And geeks. So, when you think about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., it's a freaks and geeks coalition, right?
Yeah,
it's very much so.
Because a lot of the libertarians have come over to support him.
Yeah. Absolutely. So again, and everybody has like different issues that they're fired up on. Some like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. because they buy into like, all the conspiracy stuff, right?
The vaccine stuff.
Vaccine stuff, right? Whatever. I think you and I probably come more from like the Vivek Ramaswamy style of like.
I would have loved to see him be in a cabinet position.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because like, I think he's less kind of like, what do you call it? He's not mushy brained. He doesn't have a brain worm. How does that sound? You know what I'm saying?
He's more like a Rand Paul. He knows how to talk and be professional and how to compromise just enough to go to the other side and to convince them of things.
Yeah. Tucker Carlson reacted to the Kamala Harris speech. I'm just going to play 30 seconds or so of this. Take a listen.
Consider what he intends to do if we give him power again. Consider his explicit intent to set free violent extremists who assaulted those law enforcement officers at the Capitol. His explicit intent to jail journalists, political opponents, and anyone he sees as the enemy.
Can I just interject here for a second? This woman's really scary. She could easily get elected president. She's much more skillful than I have ever seen. She's a liar on the deepest level. The things she is saying right now are not just untrue. They're the opposite of the truth, which is the hallmark of evil. She's an extremist. She'll say anything. She's much more like Gavin Newsom than I ever realized. I could go through a whole litany of why what she's saying is not true. It wasn't an armed mob. There's not one person inside the Capitol with a firearm, period.
So that's Tucker Carlson talking about, January 6th and Kamala Harris. I mean, she is scary.
That kind of talk is what got Trump shot. She's making people afraid of him.
Right.
But she's using like extremists, all these big scary words.
Yeah, she stopped short of calling him a Nazi, but they've been calling him Nazis for years now, right? Calling Trump a Nazi. So, you know what this is called, Stephanie? This is actually, there's a word for this or a phrase. It's called stochastic terrorism.
Oh, I've never heard of that before.
STOCHASTIC, stochastic terrorism.
Okay.
And it's a form of terrorism where you may not commit the violent act yourself, but you so demonize and denigrate and like egg on violence to the extent that you egg it on, that you engage in what's a form of terrorism called stochastic terrorism. So it's like if you're like, God, I wish somebody would kill him. Or like, for example, when Kathy Griffin held up Trump's bloody head, chopped his head off, murder him. What is she saying to us there, right? She's showing
she wants him dead.
She wants him dead, but she's also kind of urging it on.
She's putting the image out there for anybody who would like to do such things.
Yes, like showing you, like, this is what I want you to do. This is what we should do.
Wow.
We should behead him, literally. Right?
This wasn't a metaphor. Defamation. That's like taking defamation to the next level.
Well, it wasn't even a metaphor. Like it was very literal. Like she made a very realistic looking head of his being chopped off, thought she was just being edgy, but was really edging. What she's really doing is she's urging on someone to commit that act.
Right. Yeah, and hearing that crowd, the thunderous roar of the crowd, it almost sounds fake, to be quite honest. It reminds me of something where we're watching a dictator speak and everybody has to clap and cheer in order to not be killed.
Yep.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yes, Stephanie. Oh, wow. You brought that up. But
wasn't that with
that
Stalin?
Happened. Stephanie.
Where he would kill somebody if they were the first one to stop clapping? Yes.
This is the wife I chose.
He's taught me so much.
Well, Stephanie.
So smart because of you.
You read Human Action on your own.
I did.
Yeah, you don't even start here.
Thank you.
As your wife read Human Action, boys, get you one of these sweet redheaded libertarian girls.
That's right. I read my way into your heart.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Because you were doing your own videos. You were showing yourself off, being like, look at me, I'm a cute little libertarian girl. We're $52 towards the $60 goal of unlocking today's 55 actually. Just there we go, 52. So 57.
Thank you, everyone.
$57 towards the $60 goal to unlock today's bonus content. I'm excited to play it for you. What are we doing with the bonus content these days? What we're doing is we're taking a deep dive or sharing news that we may not be able to cover in the initial broadcasts, but we want to be able to give you guys a little bit of an behind the scenes, maybe a little bit insider tip, or just kind of show you a story that maybe the mainstream media isn't talking about. Today's story, which it looks like you're going to get to it, is about how European and American censors are trying to start a war with Elon Musk. And this is about the battle for Musk's free speech, because it's not just here in the United States, Stephanie. Other countries make it very difficult for people to get out their messages on social media. We could not do this show, for example, in the United Kingdom. Do you know why?
Oh, they have even worse censorship. I actually heard a fact on a radio station the other day that has to do with European versus America online. Apparently, Americans swear way more than any other country on social media.
Really?
Yes. Even 40% more than the UK.
Are you serious?
Yes. That's what I learned on this radio station.
I never thought I would be like proud of something like that, because I try, I do swear, but I'm not like, dropping F-bombs left and right all the time. And
if it has to do with the censorship issue.
It might be, actually. I would say, you're just presenting this new information to me now, so I can't say either way. But if I were to speculate, which I am often want to do, then I would suggest that might perhaps be the reason, is that they're fearful of a backlash. Like on social media, we like post pictures of ourselves with our guns,
right,
and blowing stuff up in canyons and using F-bombs, and there's something uniquely American about that, and I kind of love it. As a matter of fact, I feel very patriotic to hear something like that.
It's going to be America first, okay? America first.
Yes. Dad Bod Baboon reminds us, though, that the UK says "cunt" in every other sentence.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
I mean, the C word is the worst word you could use here in America in terms of our standards.
But they don't actually say the C word. They say "cunt." They have COONT.
Oh, does it mean something else?
No, actually,
I'm
kidding, Stephanie. It's still spelled the same.
Oh.
But they just call it "cunt."
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, you cunt.
Yeah, it's like we don't say that one. We can say the F word, the B word. We can say that.
N-word. Can we say the N-word?
No.
You can't say N-word? Oh, no. Okay. Oh, there's another word we can't say. Let's add them up.
Watching this really funny Christian music video.
Oh, yes. That's why Jesus Christ is my nigga.
Yeah.
Yes. It was
probably they can say it. Yeah. If you're talking about Jesus, you
could say it.
Yeah.
We're referring to Jesus. So Jesus is... Quantum Kitty, she donated $10, and so did Quest Fanning donated $5. They got us over the top there for the bonus content. Thanks, guys. We'll do that when we go to Justin here in like 10 minutes. If we hit $100 by the end of the show, we've hit 60, so $40 more, and we unlock the bonus baby at the end of the show. So
say her 1 month birthday.
It's not a 1 month birthday. Let's call it a month-iversary.
Month-iversary.
Yes, let's not be those annoying parents. You know.
I know. Before we had her, I was like, I am not going to be that person that posts my baby with a sign next to her that says 1 month, 2 months. But then one of my family members gifted me this personalized sign that actually says Hazel Rose on it for her month-iversaries.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I have to use it, right?
Yes. Yeah, we do. And we will. It's the Wake Up America show, and we're having fun, and we're saying bad words. Yay! Don't call the cops.
FBI, open up!
Click the like button if you're enjoying the Wake Up America show. And if you are joining us for the very first time, what should they do, Stephanie?
They should click the like button. It wasn't working this morning. I kept clicking it and it wasn't liking it.
Actually, they should click the follow button, Stephanie.
Like follow, subscribe, whatever it's called. It's called something different everywhere.
If they like the show, they click the like button. But if they want to see the show again, I worded that poorly.
It's okay.
If you want to see the show again and watch it like Monday morning, for example, what do they do?
You have to subscribe.
What do you have to do?
Subscribe. You have to share it because then your friends can see it.
Friends and our friends and our friends.
That's right.
Yes. All right. Quest Fanning said, MK Ultra for the masses via media. There are thousands of mentally unstable people in this country with TDS who'd gladly take a crack at him if the opportunity presented himself. He's talking about the people who were trying to.
Sure.
Yes.
They try to hurt him.
Yeah. Actually, there's a clip of Vivek Ramaswamy where he confronted Van Jones from CNN for just this sort of topic, like kind of like whipping up violence against him to some extent. I have the clip. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Here's Vivek Ramaswamy taking on CNN's Van Jones. Watch this. Background noise is killing us.
So we got death threats. We got death threats after the thing you said.
We got death threats after the thing you said. I'm trying. Let me try and.
Saying we meaning Trump.
We got death. I'm imagining Vivek did probably too from some of the comments that Van Jones said. Let me see if I can listen one more time and try and suss it out here. We disagree completely, but we will have a reasonable debate, I think. Can I tell you a story, Van?
So we got death threats. We got death threats after the thing you said. So that's Van Jones for you.
Yeah,
we got death threats after the thing you said.
He's like, he's a demagogue. He's dangerous. He's going to be around for 50 years, long after Donald Trump's gone. So the first time in the campaign, we get a death threat of a man who wants to show up in New Hampshire. Thankfully, the police intervened, got it. The next day, back-to-back days. So my wife's scared enough. The next day, we wake up. It's 3 a.m.
You hearing that okay?
We get a call from him. He's my security guard saying, thank God you picked up because we just got a call that somebody showed up at their house and has 4 dead bodies out. So that's within 48 hours. And I'm not going to attribute that to your comment because whatever it is. But for our family, you know what? Publicly, I didn't do it, but for our family, yeah, it pissed us the heck off, actually. And so the reality is, I don't try to engage in rhetoric that gets other people in danger of bodily harm. But I do think that if somebody's going to, even if you didn't intend to provoke that kind of ire on my family, yeah, in that week it landed with me. Now, at the same time, am I going to...
Test.
Do I want to set a good example for people in this country of what discourse looks like? I do. And in the heat of a presidential campaign, and I've been open about it since I left the campaign as well, my competitive spirits, sometimes stop us from being able to have the level of discourse we want. And I think you were wrongfully pushed out of the White House for your comments around 9/11 way back when as well. They were misconstrued.
Oh, shit, bro.
Wow, so he said there was somebody outside of his house that had 4
bodies in there.
Bodies?
Yeah, some guy who was a confirmed killer was like after them. See, that's the thing is like that you don't think about, and I tried to explain this to libertarians back in like 2000 and 2012 when I gave a speech at PorcFest. I did a debate with conspiracy theorists, and I talked about
chemtrails.
Yeah, and I talked about pouring poison into the minds of the deranged.
Yeah.
Like what you like the like you have free speech, right? But like you should be responsible with your speech in like here's the thing. It's like you can't tell somebody to go kill someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you set an example for your children, and you set an example for you as a representative of your cause, what have you, in the way that you treat other people, in the way that you talk to other people, in the way that you behave towards other people. And what Vivek is saying here is that, like, yes, in the heat of competition, we can sometimes say things or do things that go too far. And you may not know that what you're doing is going to cause someone to do harm, but it's like, people just have no sense of responsibility at all, like no filter, no sense of responsibility. And just because here's the thing, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right.
Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And I've known people who pour poison in the brains of people who are unstable, who are on the edge. And you see it happening all the time. People get radicalized into like, hating people like you because of your lineage that has nothing, you have nothing to do with, right? People who will never trust you, Steffi, because of what your, or Hazel because of their birth.
Right.
Right. Things like that. And you can't reason with some of these people, and some of them are dangerous and some of them are violent. I've had stalkers.
Oh, you have. I remember in Kansas City, there was like a woman who was searching for you.
That was just one.
Yes.
And that was just one woman who was like the most frightening about it, right? Like I've had other incidents as well. People who just kind of like, show up unannounced and things and in different ways where you fear for your safety, man.
For sure.
But people are like, oh, well, they deserve it. So they justify, the hateful, the stochastic terrorism, what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, it's hard because you want to have free speech. You want to say what you want to say, but yet there are these crazies out there. But it's like, is that your fault that there's these crazies out there that would listen to this and run with it?
I mean, maybe here's the thing.
Just say.
I can say, though, that if you were lying and if you were being dishonest and if you were straw manning and if you were painting a picture of someone as like literally Hitler and they're not, then yeah, I do think that you bear some responsibility for that. I do think that the fact that the media put pictures of Donald Trump on the front page of their magazine, like the New Republic, of Donald Trump as Hitler, I do think that is an incite to violence, right? Because like everybody wants to kill Hitler.
Did to Kamala, he put the communist symbol.
They legitimize violence. Against one another.
So it's like she's done it to him, so now he's doing it to her. He's giving her a taste of her own medicine. In a way.
Yeah, but the difference is that Americans don't know what communism is, right? Everybody knows what a Nazi is to some on some visceral level. We learn about them in school.
Yeah.
How much did you learn about Soviet?
Oh, Russia? No, I didn't know anything. I only learned about communism and socialism in the Road to Serfdom book by Hayek.
Yeah, the difference is
I really had no idea that one thing led to the other. Socialism leads to communism.
In every video game and every piece of art, like Nazi soldiers are like reduced to the point of like puppetry, where it's like, I've killed 1 million Nazis in video games because it's just like, blow up. It's a Nazi, so just destroy them and blow them up. But you don't have lots of video games where like, the bad guys are the Soviets and you have to kill the Soviet Russians. You do kill a lot of their satellite state actors in like Vietnam games and reenactments of some of the conflicts of the Cold War, for example. But there aren't, say, a lot of games where like the objective is to kill Stalin, assassinate Stalin, for example.
Right.
There are a lot of games where your mission is to kill Hitler.
Even though didn't Stalin kill more people than Hitler?
Oh my God, yes, not even close.
So it's like,
and Pol Pot killed more than all of them. Or not, I mean, Mao Zedong killed more than all of them. So yeah,
so it's like, I don't understand. I mean, sure, for the Jews, let's protect the Jews, but it's like, if these other people killed more people, why don't we talk about that more?
Well, because Jews, the Jewish story is prominent in the American mind because Israel is largely a creation of the United States.
Right.
Our destinies are intertwined and have been ever since Harry Truman, and you saw it.
Oh yes, he's the one who said Israel is it should be its own state.
Yes, he was the one who legitimized it.
Yes.
Israelis had been settling there since the late 1800s as settlers.
Right.
And turning the desert into, the sand into water,
Yeah.
irrigation. Your mother and I discussed that, actually, the irrigation of the desert, for example. You remember?
That's right. Because we were talking about how there's all these kibbutzes in Israel where they do all this farming.
And it's very actually socialistic in many ways. Like
it's like a hippie commune.
Yeah.
That's what these kibbutzes are.
Yeah,
really.
they're kind of like modern hippie communes.
But it's like a voluntary one.
Modern
where
hippie
you voluntarily go there.
Right. Modern hippie communes with assault rifles. So
for sure.
But they
it'd be like a libertarian commune, so to speak.
To some extent, right? It'd be kind of like Bernie Sanders meets, Ron Paulers, hippie, type people and all that kind of stuff to some extent. Kibbutz, yeah. But they've been doing that since the late 1800s.
Right.
And then in the 1940s, the United States officially recognized Israel. If the United States hadn't done that, I think Israel may be able to defend itself militarily, but they needed international recognition of some weight in order to kind of seal the deal for the rest of the world. And then they won their land and their spot in this world through how many countries did, like the United States was, war by conquest, war of conquest. And we conquered this continent. The Americans conquered this continent. The Israelis initially made capitalistic purchases. They bought the land using like homesteading agreements and like purchases of people who were doing Zionists who were doing pilgrimages to the Holy Land. And then they decided, let's just settle here in the late 1800s. And then, of course, after Hitler killed all the Jews of Europe, they
came there.
They're like, to
seek refuge.
They joined the settlers.
Right.
And it's been, what it has been ever since. So.
Well, and talking about Israel, I was actually really shocked. Kamala Harris, her speech, she's very pro-Israel. And I was surprised that there weren't boos coming from that crowd, because I would imagine a lot of the people at the DMC are very anti-Israel.
They either were smart enough to keep their mouths shut or they were all outside.
I have a feeling they were probably silencing the protesters in that audience.
Did you see what AIPAC did to Cori Bush here in Missouri, for example?
No.
Okay, so do you know who Cori Bush was? She was the congresswoman from St. Louis.
Oh, yeah, and she's gone now,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
we didn't like her.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Very low IQ.
Yeah.
But she got jousted, but AIPAC spent like $100 million trying to make that happen. I mean, they're powerful. AIPAC.
It's the
Israeli lobby.
They raise money, yes.
Yeah, to take out bad guys in Congress, and they took out Jamal Bowman as well. Actually, another Democrat. He's a Democrat idiot. He's the one who pulled the fire alarm when the Congress was going on and got busted for it. So it's 7:58, which means my brother Justin is waiting in the wings.
I'm gonna check on the baby, make sure she's still breathing.
You do that. Check on the baby. We are we've raised at least $60, so we are gonna play the bonus content.
Yay!
I'll go behind the scenes, guys, and count up and see how close we are to the bonus baby, meaning get to see the baby by the end of the show. If we hit $100,
yeah, she's still sleeping. She's doing very good.
So keep those Rumble Rant donations rolling in, guys. But while you're watching the bonus content on one device, open up another device. Go to forlibertyshop.com. Get yourself some sick merch, y'all, because we've got it all at forlibertyshop.com. Still getting used to the rebrand. You can
still go to forlibertyshop.com too.
It's still there, but we are rebranding for the For Liberty Network. Yes. So
I saw somebody the other day post under one of your things online. What is the For Liberty Network? So people are definitely wondering. You got their curiosity.
I'm so glad you asked. You had my interest, but now you have my attention. Enjoy the bonus content, and we'll be right back, y'all, on the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network.
Expanse of time, a year might seem like a mere moment, but oh, what a year it's been. In September 2022, Austin and Stephanie Peterson embarked on a journey to wake up America. They began humbly, with just 20 souls tuning in, learning, listening, and though challenges arose, like the looming shadow of YouTube demonetization, their spirit never waned. And now, thanks to you, thousands rise with the sun to join them, to listen, to engage, to be a part of a community. So here's to you, and to Wake Up America, for memories shared, for friends made, for the journey ahead, and for never, ever forgetting to rise and freedom. Happy anniversary.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. Believe me, Austin Peterson is the best. He's got the greatest Wake Up America show I've ever seen. Whenever I tune in the mornings and watch the live stream, let me tell you, he has got the absolute best content. I love his guests. It's just a total blast to watch, and I highly endorse and recommend the Wake Up America show. It's terrific, believe me.
Is the outdoor your home about as exciting as a library? Then spice it up and unbore your space with our custom metal signs. Crafted with love and a bit of libertarian magic, you can customize your own metal sign at ap4libertyshop.com. So head to ap4libertyshop.com, customize your own metal sign today.
Welcome to a world of vocal discovery at Peterson Voice Studio. I'm Justin Peterson, here to guide your musical journey. Envision a place where your voice reaches new heights, where every note tells a story. We embrace all singers, from the enthusiastic shower vocalists to aspiring stars, ensuring each voice finds its unique rhythm and tone. Are you ready to elevate your voice? Visit petersonvoicestudio.com and sign up for remote lessons tailored just for you. Let's begin this melodious journey together.
Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your founding flavors at ap4libertyshop.com. Good morning, rise in freedom. It's Austin Peterson on the Wake Up America show. 23 pounds later, as someone just noted. Yeah. The nice thing about losing weight is that you lose it from like it like works its way from like the top of your head all the way down and like from your like butt and then up. So like when you're really fat and you just get the double chin in the beginning, it like the double chin is like the first thing to go away. So it's kind of like, yes.
Guess what? I lost about 25 to 30 pounds myself in the past month.
Hey, that doesn't count.
Breastfeeding, baby.
That's right, baby. Apparently,
that thing that all the celebrities are on.
Apparently breastfeeding does make you lose weight, we learned.
Oh, very much so. Yes, you have to like eat a lot and stay hydrated while you're breastfeeding.
Great. Who wants to see Stephanie breastfeed the baby?
That would not be for $100. That'd probably be for $1 million.
That's a good one, Stephanie. Yes. Baby Hazel is here in the studio. We are $85 towards the $100 goal.
Oh, they gave more?
Yeah, they've been donated. So $85 towards the $100 goal, and then we get the bonus baby by the end of the show.
1 month anniversary present.
That's right. 1 month anniversary, which Matt Unruh says is still kind of like, I don't know, shameful in some way.
Oh, he doesn't celebrate that.
I don't think they do.
With his baby.
I don't know.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. So what? We don't have to be like you, Matt Unruh.
We have all these props that our friends gifted to us.
Props real quick. Show the board before we bring in the next baby.
Our friend actually carved this. It says 1 month. And then I got this. Oops.
Quick, what does it say?
I got this little board that says Hazel Rose. Should I read all the things?
Maybe not.
Okay.
We need to go get another.
Anyways, it's just like a milestone chart.
There are how many Petersons on the Wake Up America show today?
4.
4 Petersons. The 4th Peterson has arrived. Yodelay-hoo.
There's actually thousands of Petersons on the stage. Because of all the...
It's Justin Peterson.
Because of all the sperm. Thousands.
Hi, Justin. Welcome to the show.
Can you see me?
Yodelay.
Am I on TV?
We watched Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs the other day, Justin, and I thought about you. Stephanie really hadn't seen it or couldn't remember it. She knew the story.
I barely watched Disney movies as a child.
I know. She just, she's like a Disney virgin to some extent.
Nickelodeon, Rugrats.
Nickelodeon. We didn't have Nickelodeon because we didn't have cable, so we had to go rent the Disney movies.
The devil device of cable in our house. That
no, exactly. That was Satan's device. You know what I'm saying? Satanic.
Yeah, well, Tommy Pickles is Jewish, so you know.
Is that the guy that stuck? Is that the guy that stuck the pickle through the door and then ended up being the child molester?
Oh God.
You know what I'm talking about? A Nickelodeon. Remember we watched the documentary?
I'm sure he was connected to that show too. Who knows?
Well.
Oh boy.
Justin Peterson, my brother, live on the show.
Snow White. That's like the first story I ever heard as a kid. I was probably 5 years old.
Yeah.
I used to have those records. Now let me date myself. I used to have the record with the book, and it would say, "This is the story of Snow White. You'll know it's time to turn the page when you hear the chimes ring like this. Ring! Let's begin." Like that's how kids, like those were like protonomic books for kids, right? To learn how to read books. You would just you couldn't read it. You just look at the pictures and the story would unfold.
Well, Justin, obviously you were such a huge Disney fan that, I mean, it's apparent that you must be excited about the new Snow White movie. I mean, you learned how to draw exactly like Disney movies. You could have been a cell shading animator if they still did that nowadays, because your skill at art was so sharp because you were so inspired by these movies. So I must imagine that when you saw the new remake of the Snow White movie with Rachel Zegler, right, and Gal Gadot, that you must be just thrilled and really excited to see a new one.
Oh yeah, I'm just over the moon. No, that's been a very troubled movie, as you know, we've been talking about it for several years now. There's just, these European fairy tales are an inconvenience to the modern, sensibilities. Because now my friend Andrew, who I love, he sent me a chat message last week. He said, nearly all of these Disney movies now have disclaimers on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Like
Justin, turn up your microphone.
I did. I'm Max, baby.
Okay. All right.
Let me.
If there's a way on your computer to do it.
What kind of disclaimer do these things have?
Well, it's like cultural sensitivity disclaimers. So I used to play this game called Assassin's Creed, and it was all about like murdering like popes and stuff, like the Catholic Church, and you're this assassin and kind of killing historic figures and stuff. So, and because so many of them were like cross-cultural, that they had like this team that made this game was assembled cross-cultural, blah, 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 right? So it's a sensitivity guide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go ahead, Justin.
Is this better if I go higher like this?
It's way higher now. So if you can bring it down like maybe.
Is that better?
Yeah, a little right around there is good.
Right
Justin.
there?
Yeah, we got you. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Go. All right,
yeah, I just don't, it's like Dumbo has sensitivity things now. Peter Pan has sensitivity things now. Almost all of the Disney films have some sort of warning now. It's like, warning, you will find that this doesn't comply with the regulations of the modern sensitivities. And I'm just kind of like, wow, thanks for pandering to our intelligence to tell us that we have to, what we have to think about a work of art, which is kind of what it really is, right? It's sort of saying, we're going to preload the bias on you from the jump, so that when you watch the art, you're going to be biased watching it from the start, right? It's sort of like, I call it electronic voice phenomenon, Do you ever remember that when like ghosts would talk? And they'd be like, you get those messages on the white noise. It would be like,
yes.
And then they would write in the bottom in the caption, Mary Beth is coming up with me. So then you're like, Mary Beth is coming up with me, and you're like, oh, I can hear the
ghost.
Yes. Because you've been front loaded by the reading, so you're looking for the message. You're not able to hear the message.
Like subliminal messaging.
If you listen, it's like, when you listen to the Stairway to Heaven backwards in the 1980s and 90s, the Christians were like, he listened to this record, he's saying, sad Satan, right? And it's as he's buying the stairway to heaven. But if you play it backwards and you think that they're saying sad Satan, then you're going to hear it, right? That's just how it is. Yeah. Because we're pattern seeking animals.
Yes.
Sure we are. The thing that really cracked me up about that trailer, I know I can go on about that, but that she was cleaning the house with the dwarves. Like, I don't know if you know the story of Snow White, but one of the things that she does that shows her character is that she comes into this house and she thinks that 7 children live in the house and they have no mother. So she operates, again, in this maternal role, right? We can't have that. Mm-hmm. We cannot have Snow White demonstrating a maternal sympathy for children. So now the dwarves have to pitch in and collaborate along with her, because it can't be a woman doing the job in a maternal way. It has to be, it can't reveal Snow White's goodness and her sweetness towards these people that she doesn't know, which is a defining characteristic of Snow White, that desire to be maternal and take care of, right? That was one of the reasons why the dwarfs want her in the house in the first place. It's because she's going to make, food, and she's going to take care of them, and she'll keep the house in order. Feminine sort of roles, right? We can't have that. Can't have that. She's got to be empowered. That's not empowering enough.
Well, and speaking of, this is a perfect segue from that, Justin, is the lack of maternal instinct on the Democrats' part. Cool. They had a van that they had pulled up, not down by the river, but outside the DNC, which would provide abortion services and vasectomies. I don't know if they really truly could grasp how powerful symbolically that is. I'm sure that they went for that, but I don't think that they get the meaning of what everyone else sort of sees that as. That's a powerful symbol for your men and your women of your movement.
I totally agree. I think it's vile. It's the thing that gets me about this whole thing is how cavalier it all is and how glib it all is, right? Like these very sensitive topics, are just being treated like going to a taco cart and ordering a taco, that it's that simplistic. But I mean, it doesn't surprise me, because these are the same people who would literally gladly get in line to get any pharmaceutical product and have any procedure done that the state told them to have. Like, these people have no compunction about thinking about, wait, maybe this isn't right for me, or I shouldn't maybe do this. Whatever it is to go along with the herd, they will gladly do it. I mean,
and they take it a step further. They take it a step further. They actually like, not only am I going to stand in line for anything the government tells me to do, we're going to force everybody else to do it too.
Well, this is why I think the pandemic, these people secretly long to go back to the pandemic, because
they miss it.
They miss it. They miss that social control, and they miss that cage. They miss it so much. Yeah.
They loved work from home. They loved staying at home, eating bonbons and getting a check from the government. They loved seeing their neighbors getting shot with paintball guns, because Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Walz, as governor of Minnesota, sent the cops around to shoot people with paintball guns who were sitting outside on their front porches during the pandemic to get them to go inside. Yes.
Paintball guns?
Paintball guns.
That hurt very badly.
Yeah, it would hurt. And the disease was spread indoors. Right, I'm talking amongst people, not outdoors. So it was completely wrong-headed move.
I wonder if anyone ended up in the hospital because of the paintball guns.
Right. It's like any Democratic man who would be in charge, someone like Tim Walz, for example, or Kamala Harris's husband, they're all eunuchs. Right. This is sort of the message, is that the men of the Democratic Party have their balls snipped. Right. It's not. It's one thing to not have the maternal instinct and kill your babies and have abortions. But on the other side, when you see men like Tim Walz and you see men like Doug Emhoff, first gentleman, Tim Walz, Justin, you like men. I think that's a given, right? And while that may be a clever double entendre, it is also symbolic of I think you understand, of the lack of masculinity from the Democrats and the candidates that they're proposing. Where they want to take the United States is women who kill their babies and men who have their balls cut off, who are being told what to do. Would you agree?
I mean, that's a rather dystopian vision, but I mean, they have rejected it because so much of their political sort of cultural control has been this idea of we have to deny men. Men have to be cudgeled. Men have to be, emasculated, and literally, right? I mean, here it is. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a guy. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with being a man. But the thing is it's the fear. You see, this is the thing. There's a cultural fear of a strong man. And this is why he has to be emasculated, because the fear is there. And women can't deal with the fear of a strong man. So, I mean, he has to be emasculated.
I think I know what a beautiful, strong man is. I could identify one, but I'm not attracted to men. Right. So I'd like to defer to you, Justin, and Steffi.
There's attractive qualities. I would say you maybe not be erotically attracted, but there is something attractive in a strong man.
That's what I want to hear.
That compels even a men to follow a strong man.
Of course. Yeah. Like people, the men who followed Alexander the Great into the desert to fight the Persians and to conquer. They seek out great men to try and follow. That's where you get a lot of danger too, because some of them are demagogues, right? And lead men off of cliffs, right? Lead men into dangerous situations. The best men to follow are the ones who protect the men that are underneath them, that are seeking guidance from them, and will not try and plant landmines or roadblocks or become stumbling blocks, as they used to say in church, right, in the paths of other men. But at the end of the day, whether you, Justin, as a gay man being attracted to men, you love men. My wife, Stephanie, she loves a man, but the concept of man, and she sees something in me that's, something that makes me align more culturally with the Republican Party than the Democrats. It's because I am unreconstructed, if you will. And I actually think women appreciate that about a man, even if they don't agree with his principles and view. I can't tell you how many, well, Stephanie, close your ears. I can't tell you how many liberal women I seduced in my younger days, simply for the fact that they hated every word that came out of my mouth. But the fact that I had the balls to say it to their faces and not be cowed by them. I mean, I've known some aggressive girl boss women in my life, and some of them who are taller than me, who would try and lord over me, kind of pull an LBJ and see if they can intimidate me by their sheer height.
I think I know some of these.
But just for the simple fact that staring them back down, no matter how tall or how frightening they may be, or how crisp the Hillary Clinton pantsuit might be, the men of the Democratic Party don't have the balls to stand up to the tyrannical authoritarian females of their party. Am I still being too dystopian or hyperbolic?
No, I think you're right. There's a fear there. There's definitely a fear there. Yeah. Because it's the idea that if you don't act or say things in the right way, you're not being inclusive, which is the trap that they've set for themselves, right? Because now to disagree or to say, no, I don't agree with that, is to suddenly be labeled as a misogynist. We can't make arguments on their face anymore to people and say, well, actually, I don't agree with that argument. Well, are you a racist? Are you a misogynist? Like, that's not how you make an argument. You don't get your argument disqualified because of the identity of the person who's making the argument. But that's not where we are anymore, right? Now arguments are allied with your identity. So yeah, no, I think it's, we're in a bad place now where we can't have these arguments. We can't fight because now someone's going to be like, well, you said something, Austin, that I think about a lot. You said you can't have equality and chivalry at the same time. And I think about that a lot.
Oh, you've talked about this with Camellia a lot.
Yeah, you can't have it both ways.
Right. You can't have it both ways.
That's why I always say equality for women in this country would be a step down, because right now they're getting special treatment, and then in other ways they demand special treatment, and they're also getting equality, right? They get equality with men. You're going to be considered the same as a man, but then you're also going to get special treatment.
They also get equality, Austin. They also get equality through government force.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, and then it's government force and quality, but also like beyond equality. Like the government will actually give them, like, for example, our sister Jody, she becomes a minority woman-owned business. She takes over our father's landscaping business. They automatically give literal money to her jobs. Yeah.
No, like that's why Dad wants to do it, because he's like, there are bids I can't get because I just don't have the identity markers.
Let Jody take over the business. I mean, it's good for our family for sure, but it's wrong. It's still wrong.
It's a capitalistic endeavor. You know,
it's our money.
Okay, well, yeah, exactly.
Soon men are going to be making a lot less than women.
What do you think about cucks, male cucks, men who are cuckolded, Stephanie? What do you think about a man who's like, oh yeah, I'm proud of the fact that, my wife cheats on me and, seeks other men. And I mean, you deal with the psychological world. You probably know a lot of cucks because you're doing therapy. So, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of men I'm sure there are a lot of I'm sure there's a lot of men who come to Stephanie and like, my girlfriend cheats on me and I don't know what to do.
Oh, yeah, it's sad, especially when there's like polyamorous relationships and the woman, is like going outside of the relationship. And usually they're finding other women to be with, but also men too. But the man tries to just justify it. That's all he can do. He has no choice because he's too scared to really stand up and be like, no, woman. Keep your pants on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. One of the things Stephanie really enjoys about me is that I'm not like an extremely hairy man, right? Is that I'm not like Neanderthal-esque.
But you would think that would make you less.
No, not Robin Williams.
You would think that would make you less manly,
right?
Having less hair. But it's like I was trying to think about the qualities I like in you that make you manly to me, and it's your confidence, your drive, your work ethic, your want to be a provider. I think that's sexy that you want to provide for me, even though it's like I don't want to need to be provided for, but I think that's sexy that you can provide for me.
Yeah, because that's your instinct, that's your nature, right? Yeah, I mean, you like men,
yes,
and that protection. You make me feel protected, both financially and physically. Like today, when we were getting baby Hazel out of the car this morning, you were like going in the door, to start setting things up, and I'm like, no, wait, stay out here. Protect me, protect me and baby Hazel from homeless people that could be walking by early in the morning.
All right. And then I came up behind you and grabbed your butt.
Right. Yes. And you made me feel safe.
Go ahead, Justin.
We missed the complementary aspect of male female. I mean, we missed that, because it's like there's nothing wrong with being a man and there's nothing wrong with being a woman. And that's unfortunately that's not the message that we're getting anymore. We're telling little kids like, oh, you're an oppressor, or it's like there's 5.
Ers mommy says, I'm going to see a really dominant man next week. I haven't seen him in years. Cannot wait. Well, good for you.
My goodness.
Keep us posted.
Wow.
Now you're a man.
Yeah. I'm like, is it your doctor?
Oh boy. Hey, people have relations with medical people. Yes.
Don't forget, guys, it's 8:24 and the show will be over before you know it. If you want to unlock the bonus baby on the Wake Up America show, you got to hit that $100 mark. We're at $85 towards the $100 goal. Let's do it. Come on, guys. Head on over to forlibertyshop.com. $15 more bucks. They'll unlock the bonus baby. You'll get to see baby Hazel because her cheeks are big and juicy and delicious. She's got gorgeous red hair, which might be curling. She has at least one dimple, Justin. We have identified for sure. One dimple. Yep. We have confirmed dimple sightings.
One dimple.
One dimple. You know who else has one dimple? This guy right here.
And I have 2.
My sperm is so powerful.
Does she have a butt chin?
Not yet, but it might just be a sign because like that's round and she's a little porker.
Mm-hmm.
TBD. We had other things to talk about.
Weepy. I think that's the nickname you need to have for her.
Weepy
is Weepy.
Weepy?
I saw that on I love Weepy.
I was thinking nobody was going to give me credit for that title, and you're the only person who said that. Justin, thank you.
Weepy. What is that?
So, have you ever heard Pee-wee's Big Adventure? Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, we watched some of that.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure was a great movie from the 1980s. So I called it because she pees her pants and she's a Peterson.
Yeah.
So I called her Wee Pee. And then instead of Big Adventure, we were going on a walk, so it's a Little Adventure. So yeah, Wee Pee's Little Adventure.
I'm trying to think of nicknames for the baby.
Oh, well,
when am I gonna?
Wee Pee.
I never plan nicknames because they just come out of my mouth, and I call her Little Lady.
Oh.
Little Lady seems to be my nickname.
Little lady. Yes, that's not bad. But I like the fact that we could be like, as in little one, like, oh, a wee little one. And then a P as in a Peterson. She's a wee P. You know what I'm saying? She's a wee P.
You've been saying Hazy a little bit.
Hazy.
You experiment with that nickname.
I've also thought about Heyro.
Heyro.
But then that could be misconstrued as kind of racist.
I was like, Heyro.
Yeah,
everybody. Yeah, I was just talking about that yesterday. I was like, can we do Chinese accents and like anymore and get it? I do Japanese all the time, like Donald Trump wa itikeru, right? Do like a Japanese
language though. That's language.
But I could. Oh, samurai talk big suck, drink much sake, eat much sushi. Hey.
It's just like the choir singers that aren't allowed to sing like the old songs sung by slaves, you know, in how they sang them. We have to sing them like white people. So it's like, should we be doing a Japanese accent like white people?
When white people sing that and they're like, they sing with their white accent, it doesn't sound right.
Right.
So they'll go like, go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land.
Yes.
Elijah rock, shout to shout, Elijah rock. And you're just like, shut up, white people. We need to get some brothers and sisters in the house.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, do we
terrible.
have to talk Japanese like a white person would, like, or like Chinese?
Nobody says it's racist when like Japanese people will like talk, or Euros will talk like Americans, right?
Right.
Like I saw a white, an Asian guy who did an impression of a white guy. He's like, oh, that's offensive. I don't like that's racist. I don't like what you're saying. He like opened up his like round eyes. He was making fun of. Like, is that racist? Well, if it is, it's funny.
Right.
Who cares?
I think that's funny, and we should be able to laugh at it because it's silly.
Remember when I had to argue with you, Justin, and win about how racist jokes are funny? At first, you're like, no, they're not. And I'm like, yes, they are. They're some of the funniest jokes in the world.
It depends.
Well, it depends. I love it.
It depends if the N word is in there. If it is, then I'm like, no.
I have a very South Park approach to that kind of stuff because I just feel like everybody needs to take their pills. Everything should be mocked. I had a really good conversation because we were talking about the ray gun situation, right?
The Australian dancer. Yeah.
Because one of my friends, God love her, she's as sweet as a bag of kittens. But she was like, I'm really upset that we're mocking and da-da-da. And I said, no, I think mocking is a very powerful social tool, when used intelligently. That mockery can actually, it's like the emperor's new clothes, right? Do you remember that story? The emperor thought he was going to wear these amazing garments and everything. And they, but really it ended up he didn't have anything on. But it took a child. It was not the adults of the kingdom, right, that started laughing at the king because they all were terrified of course, being killed or something, But it was this little boy. It was the most guileless and simplest, naive little boy who was like, he's got no clothes on. And once the little boy, but here's the thing, once the little boy started laughing, it broke the spell. Because then the lie that everybody was telling to everyone else about, oh no, this is good, suddenly it's the Joe Biden thing. When we finally saw Joe Biden in his particular demented state in that particular debate, that was the little boy that laughed. And suddenly the people on the left that were under the spell that everything was fine with Joe Biden. I've had conversations with these people, Austin, who were like, I didn't know the president was in such a bad state. And I'm like, that's the breaking of that spell. So mockery, is a powerful tool.
Let's give it up there, Justin. Really good point of view.
There you go.
I got to say thank you to Remzo Martinez like 13 seconds ago over on Twitter or X. He posted in response to this conversation, I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. Right?
Do you know what that song's about?
What?
That song is about diddling yourself.
What?
Yeah.
Shut up, Justin.
No, I think it's about doing the hanky spanky with flogging the bishop.
What does that have to do with being Japanese?
No, but I think that's what it's about. I think that song is
Justin, you better look that up right now. Where's my Jamie from like the Joe Rogan show right now? Like,
no, I think that's what it's about.
We've got
about flogging the bishop.
We've got 1,909 people watching us over on X.com. Yo, but I mean, they should know what they're in for because the title of the show today is Democratic National Vasectomy.
Oh yeah, they know we'll be talking about.
You should know what we're talking about here today.
Things.
Yes.
No, yeah, I think that song's about. Yeah.
Or like that car salesman woman, that woman who was singing that song to Chinatown.
Yes, I'm going to chop you down to Chinatown.
Asian accents.
I want to be ninja. Yes.
Right in front of an Asian lady.
Yes.
Dude, it's so funny.
Just standing there with her cocktail just on a Friday night, like just wanting to go to a party. She's like, how the hell did I get here?
We just unlocked the bonus baby.
We did? Oh.
So about 15 minutes from now, we'll wake her up and we'll bring her out. And everybody can say hi before the end of the show. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, you're wondering what the hell is going on. I'm Austin Peterson. Today is Freedom Family Friday on the Wake Up America show. And it's the day that I bring in my smoking hot, redheaded libertarian wife, Steffi, right there on set.
Hello.
Looking beautiful. postpartum.
1 month postpartum.
1 month postpartum. Our little sweet baby Hazel is in studio with us because we don't have a babysitter. It's just the two of us trying to make a living.
We're cheap.
We're cheap. And well, we're trying to run a business of podcasting. This is,
Well, the pediatrician did say yesterday, he's like, if you don't put your baby in daycare, she'll get sick a lot less often. So that's a perk.
That is one thing that we're looking at. There's nice things about being able to take care of. This is our first weekend alone together with the baby, which we're kind of excited about. Just kind of relax a little bit and just, get into a schedule and be able to, take a little time off.
Yeah.
Justin Peterson is my brother. He lives in Boston, Massachusetts. Don't hold that against him. He's based in Red Pilled. He joins us live on the Wake Up America show every Friday at 8 a.m. Central Time. So if you enjoy Justin and Stephanie and me hanging out, goofing off as a family, talking about politics, talking about vasectomies, talking about our sex lives, you're in the right place. So, or lack thereof. No.
Well, clearly we have one. We made a baby. So.
Yes. So our sex lives,
I keep
obviously.
Trying.
Yes. Justin is just.
You made this joke before you came on. I was like, well, you would never need a vasectomy because the possibility of you getting someone pregnant is basically zero.
Hey, Justin,
they
did you
don't live?
Justin, real quick side note, I don't want to forget to mention it because the days are ticking down until the launch. Did you hear about my For Liberty network that is launching this fall?
Yes, and I caught about 10 to 30 seconds yesterday of your morning interview that you did. It's for Liberty Tonight. Is that right? Am I saying that right?
Correct. Yes.
Oh yeah. So I'm right. Yeah.
Yes.
I saw it.
So Liberty Tonight is going to be one that's going to be like, Saturday Night Live style, sort of, sketch comedy. They're also going to do man on the street stuff. They're going to go, it's going to be a lot of fun, a nice little hangout. And then Daniela Pensack, who's, brilliant. Mm-hmm. She's going to have her own show called Culturama. And she's gonna be all kind of 1950s style, talking about tradition, American culture, American traditions. Culturama is the title of that show. It's going to be 3 shows together for the For Liberty Network, and we're really excited about it, which is why you need to be the 4th.
Well, may the 4th be with you.
That's correct. Yes, may the 4th be with you, Justin. Anytime you're ready to launch. What's the word? Politically homeless.
Well, yes. Well, we'll have to see about that. One of the things about my life is it's feast and famine in terms of my work. So, I get plugged up with all of this teaching work that I'm doing, and it's great, and I love it, So now I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like you got to just make sure that when you're cooking things on the stove that you keep all of the things,
I just feel like if Justin did for 2 hours a week, if Justin did like one day, he just had like a live show, Politically Homeless, and he was just Justin and talked to whoever he wanted to, his guests and stuff, it would be a hit.
People would like him. I mean, they seriously like you better than they like us on Fridays.
Sometimes, yeah. But people really, they shout your name.
They really do.
Yeah. No, it's Justin. Justin has always been like a fireball of talent.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he hides his light under a bushel, and he should let it shine.
This little light of mine.
Stephanie, yes. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Justin,
let Satan blow it out.
I'm gonna let it shine.
Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
If you like the Wake Up America show and you like the Peterson family, you're in the right place. It's 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. That's the schedule for the Wake Up America show. 5 days a week, 2 hours in the morning, live. And I'm making it a business. I'm trying to make it a family business. My wife, Stephanie, helps me run the merchandise shop. She helps me design products. We have one staffer who is not to be named, but who is here with us this morning, who is amazing, kicks so much ass in so many ways, has
we really
so much initiative.
Yeah.
We've given him a lot of responsibility, and he's just taken the ball and run with it. So we're trying to, essentially create a podcast network that will allow Stephanie and I to manage several shows. I'll operate as an executive producer, and I'll produce this show 5 days a week. But I'll also produce Liberty Tonight and Culturama. If you want to hear more about this project of love and of liberty and of loving your country and loving your family, and you want to be a part of the For Liberty Network in its early days, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel by clicking follow underneath Rumble. If you're watching this, and I imagine 2,000 of you are over on X.com, and you're saying, hey, I want to be a part of the For Liberty Network in its early phases. I want to get in on the ground game of the ground floor of this project to advance the principles that we all share, then why don't you join us over at rumble.com/AP for Liberty. That's rumble.com/AP4Liberty. And that's the number 4, AP for Liberty. And click like and follow us when you get over here from X, just because unfortunately on the X platform, it's really not developed enough yet for us to sort of interact with you in a more friendly way. We want you to join the club and hang out with us on the weekends as well, and be able to interact directly with Daniela Pensack and ask her questions. So join our locals page underneath the Rumble as well if you want to get a little bit more behind the scenes access to the Peterson crew and what we're all up to. We're talking with Justin Peterson this morning about cultural issues. We were riffing on the new Snow White picture, which is sad and fun to make fun of, but
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna watch it too, so
I'm curious.
It's great for me to poop on, right?
Yeah. It's fun to be negative sometimes.
Remember Triumph, the comic insult dog?
So much.
Wasn't he good?
Dog.
Wasn't he great?
I love that dog.
Yeah, he was so mean to everybody, and I loved it.
Same.
Justin, did you see? Speaking of, you were talking earlier about ridicule and how important it is to maintain ridicule. And I think I agree with you completely. And here's the thing: I have Sarah Higdon, who I love, and I'm not going to bully Sarah Higdon. You're going to go see Blair White, right?
What does Blair White do when she comes around? Well, like, what is she going to do
I don't
at
know,
this
but
thing you're
I'm
going
to find
to?
out. I'm going to find out.
Is it like a show where she stands up and talks on the stage?
I think she probably she's not a comedian, but she'll sit. I mean, although she's funny as hell.
Yeah.
But she'll sit there and probably just talk about all the BS going on. I'm going to go to the meet and greet before the show starts. So
really?
I got one of the VIP tickets. So I'm going to walk in and I'm going to fangirl. I'm not going to.
Are you going to say that Austin Peterson is your brother?
Yeah, I have to name drop. And
oh, yeah, she knows
really
him.
Cringe,
you guys, aren't you friends with Blair White? Like, you know her?
Oh, Blair, Austin Peterson's my brother. And she's going to go, I don't know who that is.
No. She knows you.
Yes, she does.
Haven't you guys talked before?
I'm so excited. Yeah,
yeah.
When Blair started out her little YouTube thing, she's like a YouTube star. She's awesome. She would do these little mall meetups. So she would go to a mall somewhere and in a food court and would just hang out with her followers, But then, of course, as you can imagine, as she started speaking out more and more and her channel started to grow, she attracted the crazy, haters. And then she couldn't really do public stuff like that anymore because, it was a security issue. But no, I'll be in Atlanta and I'm stoked.
I was just talking to Austin about her this morning. I feel like she's the only transgender woman that people really approve of.
There's a few others.
People are not weirded out by her at all, it seems.
There are more and more and more. I'm seeing many more transgender social influencers that are coming out and just being like, this is crazy stuff.
So the thing is, so my point bringing him up is I wouldn't bully Blair White or misgender or Sarah Higdon or people like that. They respect my free speech. They respect my rights. They're respectful. And therefore it goes both ways. Then they get respect. Right. But I can't help but feeling, the Democrats, the party of healthy at any size, don't fat shame. But when I saw this video at the Democratic National Convention, I'm going to pull it up right now. I almost feel as if somebody in the Democratic Party, maybe the woman behind her to her left in the yellow jacket, might be the one who put her up to this. Maybe it was her own. Maybe she's so stupid and oblivious that she thought being 300 pounds and walking up in the convention microphone and saying this was a good idea.
As the saying goes, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So Gen Z.
As the saying goes, if you're not on the table, you're not at the table. You're on the menu, which is an unfortunate phrase to use. I think the white Karen in the back behind her got the joke and is looking at her like, "Oh, honey."
There's a lot on the menu for this lady here.
She maybe outfit. Yes, maybe giving her the mic was, her biting off more than she could chew.
Ooh.
I mean, I used to work in a job where we used to always talk about optics. You know what I mean? And I think they talk about that in the political sphere too, how something looks. And the optics on this are just not good. It's just not good. I'm not a fan in general of making fun of people's appearances as a general rule. So I'm reading the comments on that when that was posted, I was like, okay, guys,
No, I've explained this.
Can we make it better?
Well, like for example, Tim Walz's special needs son standing up and saying, "That's my dad," and crying.
So bad. I said to Austin yesterday, I was like, "Oh my gosh, Tim Walz's son looks special needs in that video I saw," and Austin's like, "He is." I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That's terrible."
Well, and also like the people making fun of that kid. I'm like, here's my thing. I'm just like,
he didn't ask for that. He didn't eat 500 cheeseburgers and go retarded. No.
And then Austin Wade. And then also like, oh man, my mother would smack you so hard. But like a lot of those people were probably like, say, "Oh yes, I'm a Christian." I'm like, come on, bro. Like you don't need to.
They're reflexive. They're reflexive. So like. Yeah. So many of the people, like the Republican Party has a cult, and just like the Democratic Party, and so you reflexively react to anything that the Democrats do with hatred and vile invective. But you have to think before you speak. A lot of people are like ready, fire, aim. And it's like, my thing is like, I got in trouble early in my journalism days for doing things like that, not confirming a source or ensuring that everything was like legit what I was talking about. And my producer and executive producer, they would like, fact check me and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, you better make sure that your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted. But the fact is that like Tim Walz's son, special needs son, standing up and crying, saying, "That's my dad." I would say that, and maybe I'm retarded, but like, I would say something like that, do something like that. I'd be so proud of my dad.
It's a touching moment. I mean, just think about if one of Trump's children were special needs and they were pointing at Trump, "That's my dad." Like, how would we react to that? We'd be like, "Oh, that's so beautiful. We love seeing his family."
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
There's
like
gotta be a heart. Like, this is why political partisanship is so stupid, because it's dehumanization seems to be the goal of so much of this crap. Don't see your opponent as a human being. Don't see them as having love in their life or a family or someone that loves them. Like, these are not my principles at the end of the day.
It's a mistake too. Like, it's a mistake tactically. It's a mistake tactically. Like so many, like I love to watch the documentaries about the generals who get destroyed on the battlefield. Like, what led to their biggest disasters. And it's almost always that they undermine their opponents. It's almost always that they look down on their opponents, like either racially, they see themselves as superior. I mean, the Nazis made that huge mistake, right? I was reading about the Japanese Imperial Army the other day. They had Koreans who wanted to like join the military. They turned away like 600,000 Koreans because they saw them as racially and genetically inferior to themselves. And it's like 600,000 troops would have helped Japan quite a bit. But
absolutely.
But this happens when you underestimate your opponent in the political scene. Barack Obama got elected, right? People didn't think that would ever happen, or maybe the United States wasn't ready for that. They were ready for that. People thought it was cool, right? A lot, Taylor Swift is going to tell her supporters to go out and to vote for these jackasses, right? And so, this is a battle for hearts and minds, and you do have to win some hearts and some minds. And you don't do that, taking a special needs kid and immediately raking him with the coals. But let me just finish one last thought on this, and I'll let you go. Yeah. There's a joke from The Office, Michael Scott. He says, "You don't call retarded people retarded. You call your friends retarded when they're being retarded." So it's like you should be able to keep the word like South Park would, and to say the R word and to use it in a context where it's not derogatory against someone for special needs who had no choice at all in their lot in life versus someone who ate 500 cheeseburgers and made a choice. Go ahead.
People don't vote rationally. They vote emotionally.
Correct.
Period. People don't vote with, look, I saw Blair White go to Washington, D.C. and interview people in the street about who they're voting for. None of those people made a rational argument for why they were voting for Kamala Harris.
Right.
The Trump people sort of did, because they were like, "Oh, we're not a Republican." I was like, "Oh, I'm making actually arguments for why they were voting for Trump." So when you make fun of a kid like that, people see that. People who are low information voters, right? Low, they see that and they go, "Well, I'm not voting for a party that would make fun of a kid with special needs. I'm not going to do that." So that actually backfires, because people don't vote rationally. They vote emotionally. And they go, it's how they feel about a candidate. It's not how it's not on policy. People can't be bothered to worry about policy. They're too busy living their lives. We care about it because obviously it's in our show and you're doing it and it's your lifestyle. But the average mom and dad who are living in the world, they don't pay attention to these things. So they vote on impulse. They vote on instinct.
since we're rapidly running out of time, sadly, and about 10 minutes from now, we're going to bring out baby Hazel because we hit the bonus baby content. And thank you to Cecilia for your generous donation. She gave $15, said,
my goodness.
I love Justin standing up for people. What a beautiful man.
See, they love you.
Yeah, Justin, I'm telling you, like, politically homeless, I think could be even bigger than the Wake Up America show, honestly. So anyways, you're just so damn likable, JP.
Well, I just try not to be an asshole. You know what I mean? My whole thing is just don't be an asshole. Like, be friendly. If you want friends, be friendly. I got that from Grandpa Hands. And it's like, I didn't grow up wanting enemies. I know we've talked about enemies. You're going to get them. You're just going to get them no matter what. And you won't have a life if you don't have enemies because you stood up for something, right? You had a viewpoint about something. But I always want to be everybody's friend. I always grew up in school and I was always like, I want to be everybody's pal, And that's just that's hard baked into me. So I just, yeah.
Yeah, I was always nice to the kids who struggled, right? I got the letter from Mrs. Banner or Benner. Was it Benner or Banner from Ray Peck?
Benner.
Yeah, my dad has it somewhere, but Marianne Benner, and it was about a kid who she got picked on, and I was teaching her how to use the monkey bars and encouraging her and showing the ropes essentially. And I didn't know anybody was watching, right? Maybe do this just random act of kindness. And later, the principal of the whole school had heard it had gotten back to her, and so she wrote this letter about my character. And I always wanted to stand up for the downtrodden. Partially, that's why I kind of feel my libertarianism comes from, because I hate bullies. I hate authoritarians. I hate tyrants. I hate people who wield power arbitrarily over my heads. I always despised it because I was not the stupid kid in class who deserved to be punished with the rest of the idiots when they were making mistakes. I believe in in the power of the individual to be able to have their own choices and their freedoms to make decisions without unnecessary restrictions placed over their heads. That being said, you can go too far when you're fighting dragons and that you become a dragon yourself. And so one of the challenges of my life is that I am an asshole, but I try and be an asshole on purpose, and I do it deliberately, and I do it as an act of rebellion.
Yeah. Honestly, when I talk about you, Austin, like to my friends and things, I'll say, you have a lot of courage. That's the thing I always tell people about my brother. I'm like, my brother is brave. He has courage, and you have it in a way that I sometimes don't have. I don't have that in my makeup, but you do, and I'm always in admiration of your courage about things. I'm just like, my brother has stones, man.
Yes, well, thank you. That's quite a compliment, and I'll say thank you, and also just say that, like, I always saw life in some ways for us, Justin, as men specifically, as backs to the wall, burned our boats to some extent. Like, once you were out of the nest, I mean, it's not like Dad would definitely like help us if we needed help. But at the end of the day, Justin, for men like us, nobody cares about us. The only way that the people are going to care about you, and the only way I built this network of friends, of people who care enough to like literally fill out our baby registry for the baby that's coming out here, right? The people who are watching this show, the hardcore of hardcores who've been Peterson since like I was, at Fox News or whatever. I've done that because I've done that in the sense of, I have a charm offensive, and I'm a rebel, but I just feel like if you don't fight for yourself, no one else will. No one will ever advocate for you like you will. You have to make the ask. I spent enough time in telemarketing sales in the cutthroat world of New York City to say, you've got to put your foot down sometimes. You have you have to demand your rights. You have to demand your rights. Nobody else is going to protect them for you. If you don't know your rights, you can't exercise them. So, in 2008, I learned about my rights.
And if you don't know what your rights are, you'll be happy to give them away.
Right.
It's like, I'm not using this. I'll just get rid of it. I'm like, well, what about your descendants? Don't they deserve to have a right to have those rights? It's like, yeah. No, you're so right. And my thing is like, I've been tested. So I'm very agreeable, and the thing about us agreeable people is that everybody loves an agreeable person because they always go along and they get along and they're like, oh yeah, whatever you want to do. And I am agreeable. It's it's my personality. The downside of an agreeable person is sometimes, though, they don't communicate boundaries and they don't communicate where the line is. And they say, you know what? No, you got to be very careful, because I heard somebody once say, being too agreeable is like everyone likes you, but you don't like yourself. And I was like, oh, because you get pulled around by people pleasers, right? Who get pulled around by what people want. and you never really know what you will like or want because you're so used to having to make everyone else happy.
And they only like the version of you that they're molding.
Right.
That's not really
and if you break out of that and all of a sudden you start to change, they don't like that. And they're like, they want to put you back in the box so that they can control you.
So they really don't like you.
Yeah. They don't like the real you. They like the version of you that they've been able to create.
Well, and this is the thing about the political conversation we're having. When you start to speak up more about what you feel politically and people leave you, like you say, well, I can't be friends with you because you don't have the right opinions. They're really showing you that their friendship was conditional anyway. They're showing you that their friendship with who you are as a person wasn't really about your personality or your sense of humor or what made you unique. It was that you had to hold a particular set of beliefs. And when you show that you don't have those beliefs anymore, you have to get rid of them. So what you do find then is that the more honest you are with yourself and the world, the more you attract the people who respond to that honesty, right? And then you attract actual real friends, real relationships.
That's where it's more of quality over quantity. You might get less friends that way and not be super popular, but at least you'll have really good friends who like you for you.
Exactly right.
Well, Stephanie, you and I were just having a conversation about conflict the other day, and you were talking about how I think we were talking about how I'm confrontational in a way, right? And when we say that, the context was that confrontational when there's a problem that needs to be solved, rather than like keeping my mouth shut and exploding later on down the line, that I make a conscious decision to confront.
That's so important.
And I got this, from in many ways. But one of them was there's this ideological backing from, I told you about the American Conservative Union's laws of the public policy process, never get mad except on purpose. And so you make a conscious choice. It's like, this is a problem now, and it's not going to get fixed unless I say something about it. Right. A lot of people will just let something go by. But I have found the ease in my life that, people who are going to be like, write you off as an asshole immediately, you should try and be diplomatic. But there's some people who were never going to support you once they found out who you really were deep down. I mean, running for office, I can't tell you. I mean, Justin, there are people who, from my college days, who loved me, who despise me now. There are people from high school who loved me, who hate my guts now for who I am. I'm not going to change who I am for them. I'm not going to stand up and say, well, I want them to like me, so I better think that killing babies in the womb is okay, or you know what I mean? Like, I can't.
Well, they didn't. Here's what I'll say to that: they didn't like you. They liked their idea of who you were, and that was their own projection of their own mind. That wasn't reality. So what they in fact liked wasn't real. Man, but to your point about conflict, I love this quote, and I think I got it from Jordan Peterson. No relation. Conflict delayed is conflict magnified, right? So like if you just don't have the conversation there, it builds and it incrementally, and then suddenly you're one day having a fight about something and all of the past sins just come spiraling out in this argument that have nothing to do with what's happening in that present moment. So it's best to just have the conflict and pull the Band-Aid off and be uncomfortable in the short term to solve a problem than it is to compile up the grievances, right, over time and then just explode on someone with a litany of past sins.
I mean, I have people in my life who are estranged from me who would be, maybe some people are family members, some people are close friends. And I have made efforts to patch up relations. I think Stephanie knows how I really do work on trying to mend relationships.
More than me. You've helped me mend my own relationships.
I try and be that man that we talked about. I try and be that man that lifts other men up, lifts other people up around them. Because,
You're the bigger person.
I try to, because it's just life is too short.
Yeah.
Life is too short, right? Like, to hold grudges and, there's, I mean, certainly I have a list of people to kill, right? And they will die, but metaphorically speaking.
You put your lipstick on like
in
that
Minecraft.
Guy in, Billy Madison.
Billy Madison, yes.
Steve Buscemi, and he's got his kill list and
list of people to kill.
Somebody does something nice, and then he takes him off the list. And that is
exactly.
So
and then it's what is it? That song from Telephone? Oh, telephone line, give me some time, right? It's, how are you? Have you been all right on those lonely nights? Yeah, that's a perfect metaphor. Justin, it's 8:56. I promised a bonus baby. I mean, we could talk all day, but I didn't get to ask you because the crowd wants to know, Justin. I know you were like dun 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 dun. Justin, behind you, over to your left, behind your left shoulder.
This?
Yes, I dream of. What is this?
I dream of Jeannie, baby.
I knew it.
Yes. I grew up with that show. I love it. And when people know what it is, I actually secretly love them because I work with kids, high schoolers all day long. So you can imagine they don't know what this is. So
yeah, it's not an adult toy, folks.
Is that the bottle from I Dream of Jeannie? Oh. And then I go, yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not an adult toy.
Right along with I Love Lucy in my mind, because I feel like if I Love Lucy wasn't on, then it was I Dream of Jeannie.
Does it come with batteries?
Oh.
Can you
it could have multiple purposes.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking that it was like for something in the back door area.
Yeah.
It's not very big. I mean,
okay,
look,
she's not in there.
Big.
She's not in there.
There's no Jeannie in there. It's like, can't get her out of the bottle.
Justin is always a big fan of I Dream of Jeannie growing up, and Wonder Woman and all the other associated gay icons.
Justin, feminist.
Sorry.
Justin loves Wonder Woman and Snow White.
Big time. Yes.
And Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid. Yes. I'm sorry.
Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
He loves girl bosses.
Justin, what's all the big gay icon stuff you love?
Yeah, no, I'm very stereotypical in that way, sad to say. But then
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
What?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That was too edgy for me. That's
too for you. Okay. He's a good Christian. He's a good Christian gay.
Yeah, and also Christian families.
He's a good Christian gay.
I had a friend in high school, and she was not allowed to watch that movie because her family was very religious. But then she snuck and watched that movie. That was like the ultimate sin.
Didn't see it till college. Also didn't see The Exorcist until college. So I was like, these were the movies that we talked about in middle school and high school that all the other kids had seen because they're like, oh man, and it was edgy to see The Exorcist when you're in middle school.
Justin loved horror movies. And when I say he loved them, he loved when they would come on so he could run away screaming and not watch them.
That's so intriguing.
Justin was famous because, and at first I would kind of I'd mimic my brother's behavior. So I'd run out of the room with him and be like, oh, I'm so scared. But then it's like, what are we scared of? I was so curious. So it's like the shark, I was like, there's a shark, the shark's on the TV. Okay. So I would watch Jaws. We would watch Jaws together. And then once it would be the very first, as soon as the piano or the violin or whatever it is comes out and plays, dun, Justin was boom, gone. I mean, he was out of there fast.
You just love the adrenaline rush, I guess.
But he loves the horror movies, but he was always terrified when watch them. So it was always this weird dichotomy of Justin.
Also, we grew up in KC, so they had Friday Fright Night on Fridays, and then on Saturday nights it was Cremation Mortem. But they would always show the really low rent Hammer horror movies, But when you're 10 years old or 11 years old, that's generally kind of scary because you don't watch those kind of movies. Mm-hmm. But no, but I think it explains the reason today that I also love horror movies. But I like old horror movies. I don't like the modern stuff. Anything prior to 1990, I'm obsessed with. Yeah, love horror movies.
Austin, we love you. Fridays are fun. When you're here with us, it's so much better. Please stop taking sabbaticals and going away on vacations and things.
I was sick.
I know. Well, we would always get our weekly dose of Justin no matter what if you had your own show. That's all I'm going to say.
Justin, I had a voice teacher once, and I canceled on her because I was sick, and she said, singers do not cancel. You can still sing even when you're sick. So I learned my lesson from her, but the show goes on.
Yeah, I heard that too, and then I said, F that noise.
Justin, you're a beautiful man. Where can people follow you online and hopefully get pictures when you work out and show your gorilla muscles?
Well, that doesn't really happen except for my most intimate circle of people. That's on Facebook. And even then, only begrudgingly. Because I'm very shy. I got this massive gun show, and I'm always like, no, don't look at my muscles.
Look at my gigantic muscles.
Don't look at my muscles.
Jesus, so that's my brother. Where can people follow you, Justin? And hopefully, maybe one day.
JustinPeterson.substack.com. You can that's voice stuff. I'm also on X. You can find me on X, Justin J. Peterson. And yeah, we gotta get this man his own show, people. It's too much good stuff.
get my Justin fix only like 1 hour a week, and it's just not enough. Love you, brother. Have a great weekend.
Love you.
See you next week, okay?
Talk to you soon.
All righty. It's time, Stephanie.
To unlock the baby.
Unlock the bonus
She
baby.
has been so good this
I
whole
know.
time.
I know. Go get the baby. We'll get her on set. Good morning, everybody. It's the end of the Wake Up America show. Don't be too sad. Stephanie and I love you guys. We appreciate you guys being a part of our regular morning routine. Friday, baby Hazel has just been so good, sleeping through the whole show, and you guys have been unlocking the bonus baby content. So it's now time for you to say hello to the beautiful Hazel Rose Peterson on set right now. There she is. I know. Look at her hair sticking up. Beautiful baby. Yes, she is. Can we like see the face, see her lovely face? Can you kind of turn around for us and show us that gorgeous little red and that ginger baby? Oh, sweetness. She's got the cutest little cheeks. Isn't she sweet? I love my little baby Hazel.
Sleepy.
Yeah, she's sleeping. That's okay. We're going to have to wake her up, though, to get her out in the car seat. So she's going to wake up in a few minutes anyway. Thanks so much for all your support, guys. Stephanie, you want to hand me the baby and give your sign off? And then I'll hand you the baby and I'll give my sign off. What do you say? Okay, hand me the baby. All right, give me the baby. Okay, now you give your sign off. Put your headset on. Say whatever you want to say to the people. Maybe do a promote.
I'll just also share her milestones. So she's 1 month today. She's 9 pounds, 4.6 ounces, 22 inches. Her favorite things are mom's boobs, burps from dad, swing time, her little E1 sheep that makes noises, her hands. She loves her hands. She loves mom, dad, Calvin, and George, and she can move her neck really well, eat a lot. And she even smiles, even without gas.
Baby Hazel smiles. Yes.
Yeah, so go to forlibertyshop.com and you can get some super awesome baby stuff. We have a Tiny Patriots baby and child clothing line, and your baby can look super cute like Hazel.
Here we go. Stephanie, baby Hazel is ready for her mama. So I'm going to hand her over to you now and then give our sign off. Yes. For the Wake Up America show
and
audience.
Be free, everybody. That's my sign off.
Here we go. Here's baby Hazel. With her neck here. Being parents together. There we go. Stand right behind me. See me in the show. There we go. So being parents together, doing the show together. Baby Hazel's going to be with us all the time. It seems like it's working so far, guys. Thanks for all your support. Obviously, you're helping support our family. You're also supporting a cause, the ideas that we fight for on this show 5 days a week. Make sure that when you exit through the Grift Shop at forlibertyshop.com. Coming this fall, the For Liberty Network, building our little liberty empire. Hope you guys will be a part of our journey. So click follow before you leave the show today if you aren't following us. Come back and join us again next Monday, 7 a.m. Central Time. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for being a part of our little family. See you on Monday.
Cantina crew, this is Elon Musk, the CEO of Twitter, and I just want to say thank you for watching the Wake Up America show. I've decided that Austin Peterson will be the new CEO of Twitter.com, effective immediately. First thing to do, though, is I've got to go and blast off into space.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
If I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors, what would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
Do you hate the deep state? Do you reject the Antichrist in all his ways? Do you believe that aliens controlled LBJ to assassinate John F. Kennedy? Did you know that the shot can put chemicals in you that will make you more sensitive to 5G? Do you love America? Do you want more freedom? Do you like smoking hot red-headed libertarians? Then the AP for Liberty shop is for you! Check out all the awesome new merch and have a happy new year! Fight the deep state, reject the Antichrist. Visit AP for Liberty shop and get your patriotic merchandise now, or the deep state wins.
you